Well, I just decided to go ahead and do the second part of X5 today, so we're just continuing straight where we left off. Oh, what next? Easy glow, I guess. Ugh. I really do like the music here, though. But speaking of that, maybe y'all noticed, if you haven't played this game before, that back in the ocean stage just now, the music was actually just kind of like a slight remix of the music from Bubble Crab stage in X2. If I recall, there's actually quite a few shout-outs like that in this game to earlier games. I know there are at least 2 recurring bosses. I mean, not recurring, but there are 2 bosses that you've definitely seen before. Just wondering if there's something down here. Spikes! That's what's down here. But I'll have to remember that heart container later. Yeah, what sucks is that even though I got the leg parts for the Falcon armor, which I'm pretty sure is exactly what enables me to slide in midair, I don't think you can enable any of it until you had the full set of armor, which is just stupid. Which is, I mean, it almost means that you're really not going to be able to do anything until pretty much all the Mavericks are already defeated. And you'll be able to utilize all your extra, all the extra stuff you grabbed. You won't really be able to utilize it and play around with it until the final stage. But yeah, as I was saying, there are 2 bosses here that I know have been seen in previous games. Actually, Lantis was giving Ix such a hard time during X4 about, thinking that they're the spikes that he kept, that he fell on once, or he just deliberately slid into during Split Mushroom stage, actually. He got on him for thinking that, they might actually be spikes that don't kill you when hit. I think this is an example of one of them, actually. And yeah, if you let the Sigma virus touch you here, well, you take like a dose of infection, and you're, that gauge at the bottom left goes up. I really don't know what significant difference it has, though. Nor do I know what's the deal with rescuing these Maverick hunters that that you see on occasion. X6 did that one a lot better too. There were actually 8 distinct I think 16 distinct Mavericks in every single stage that you could rescue. Some of them actually gave you a specific item too, or a health boost or something. Well, when you rescue them. And of course, this is from X4. This sequence going up the spiral staircase. And yes, I did also notice, it occurred to me at the end of the last video. I don't know why, but I say you know a lot, and I know a lot of... Okay, how do I defeat these guys? Oh, I guess I have to hit the black one. Duh. Easy enough. Yeah, I know a lot of people actually say that as kind of like a filler word for when they need to get their thoughts together. I mean, but I just do that so much it's like it gets on my nerves. Probably y'all's too. So, my apologies for that. Okay, well, I think we can manage this. Let's not step in front of the beam, though. Let's get behind it. I don't know, I think this boss is just kind of retarded. And if you stay on top of it, if you don't jump off in time, well, for some reason you take damage. Yep, X is definitely not doing too good. Yeah, there is a way to neutralize these plasma cannons or whatever they are, but I don't have the weapon for it. In fact, I think it's friggin' Izzy Glow's weapon, which is, well, you can't get it till the end of the stage after fighting him, so what's the point? And I would have to have the weapon in order to destroy that thing and get the item behind it. Except I have no weapon. Can't believe even scratch it, much less attack upward. Actually, you know what? Maybe... yeah, it's right here. It's actually, what's his name's Boomerang. So in that case, let's go back and see if we can grab that item. And I'm sorry guys, it looks like I'm suddenly having a problem with frame skipping again. I didn't at all in the first... Oh, come on, really? I can't go back. Well, let's just die then. I wonder what happens if I get hit too many times with the Sigma virus. Well, there's one way to find out. I go back to normal? Well, oh crap. They don't even let you... This was a checkpoint, okay, well. Put that also on my list of things to... I don't know why I'm suddenly having a hard time here. Between the first and the second video, I was just remembering there was actually a... Okay, the Grizzly Slash's friggin' weapon was good against Duff McWhalen, but I think I actually need Squid Adler's weapon in order to as the weakness for Izzy Glow, so it's not something I have, but I like to think I can defeat him normally. Izzy's just not happy that you intrude into his castle, but honestly, what's the problem? The castle is infected with the virus. What else did you want him to do other than break in? So he says he may have been wrong about you, but it's too late to change his mind. Well, it sounds like he's more enough of a mental state in order to just do the right thing and hand it over to you. And trust me, this isn't his only attack. I know it, looks kind of weak, but... And that's the weapon you get if you defeat him for X. It does look kind of cool though, the way he just kind of teleports around like that. Simply duck underneath that and you're good. And now he's much faster. Oh, anyway, what I was talking about before I came into the boss chamber. Yeah, between the first and second videos, I remembered that I had this friend in South Carolina named PJ who was a big X-Men fan when we were in elementary school. And he eventually came to really liking Mega Man, but for some reason, you know, he was so big into X-Men at the time, he just refused to say that anything was better than X-Men. And I guess the only reason we even made this comparison was because Mega Man and X-Men, there's men somewhere in the title of... So, you know, I just gotten acquainted with Mega Man over the last couple of years. I pretty much only knew the NES series, but it was more than good enough, and I was just determined to hate X-Men simply because it was, you know, the Marvel... It was a, you know, Marvel Comics kind of illustration, and I just hated that kind of artwork. So, without even really knowing anything about X-Men at the time, I would just start arguing with him about that, and it was always in this after school care program, you know, while waiting for our parents to get home from work so they'd come pick us up. We would always just sit at the table and, you know, fight over, okay, what's better, Mega Man or X-Men? What's cooler? It's a little bit hard to avoid when he's faster. Oh, what do we have here? Well, never mind. I remember PJ, at the time, he also, you know, he would bring over his comics, and I'd actually try to read them just to understand more about X-Men, I guess. And he also had this book that he brought to that after-school program all the time, and he would thumb through it like every single time. I don't know how he never got bored with it, but I guess, you know, little kids, they can do the same thing over and over without getting bored, I guess. But he had a huge book of X-Men trading cards, I guess. And of course, you know, as far as I know, like, characters like the White Queen and Black Queen are probably only in one particular X-Men universe, and not even very prominent. I mean, I certainly don't remember them in any of the movies, at least. But you know, at the time we would see the drawings of the rather sparsely dressed White Queen holding a whip and, you know, wearing nothing but a corset, something like that. You know, as little 8, 9-year-olds were drooling over that stuff, but we barely even know what girls are at that time. Alright, and last to go. Actually, I take that back. Let's go ahead and grab at least 2 items I know we can get. Let's see, I just do this as 0 because, I mean, even though he doesn't have the exact same weapon as Mega Man, the fact that it came from Grizzly Slash will allow us to defeat the laser turrets. And maybe, just maybe, with a double jump, I'll be able to cover the distance on those spikes. And, you know, Ailey even kind of keeps in tune with the way the story's progressing, which is kind of nice. Oh, okay, not even close. You know, I skipped through it just now, but she actually was like, yeah, well, you've already taken care of Issy Glow and, you know, secured the part we need for the Enigma. I don't know what you want to do here, but I won't stop you. Just do your thing. And I guess since I'm playing as Zero, you know, in the programming, Aelia just needs to go through all the stuff again, like as though, you know, technically Zero hasn't heard it, X has. So she deems it necessary to tell him about all the workings of the stage. Whoops. Flew completely. Just completely flew over that platform and right onto the spikes. That actually did kill you in one hit. So, the Sigma virus, does that mean it actually comes in this specific form, you know, that just looks like a hologram of his face that's all, you know, distorted and purplish? Well, when Reploids and Maverick Hunters saw that crap, why didn't they just immediately run? It seems like something you wouldn't exactly let infect you so easily, and I don't know why I was goofing off there. You think that's something you would actively try to avoid? I mean, imagine seeing that as something like that in real life, just something coming through the air. You know, just the illusion of the face of some scary man floating around the air, you know? It seems like it's easy enough to avoid, too. But maybe the Sigma virus is, you know, intelligent enough to actually know how to trap you in a corner to where you can't run. And I don't know why this Maverick Hunter's still here. I mean, I took care of him before, but whatever. Oh, well, Zero has his, you know, ability to slide through the air. So, I could have done that earlier. I just didn't think he would since X didn't have it. Kinda sucks that I have to go almost entirely through the stage in order to get this item, but you know, that's what Mega Man games are about. If you want the game to be easier, you'll have to work for it. Although actually in most cases it's just playable. So I mean, imagine trying to defeat, if you played this game before, imagine trying to defeat the final form of Sigma with no heart pieces, energy tanks, and as, you know, Mega Man's normal form. That would be impossible. Unless you're Japanese, of course. Nothing I can do about that. I don't know, am I even gonna make it? Just gonna, yeah, get out of the way. I didn't realize I was on the last hit though, I could have just went ahead and finished it. Although, thinking about it now, maybe, and this is something you would expect out of a little elementary school kid, but at the time, probably the reason, you know, PJ was arguing for X-Men being better than Mega Man was because of the, you know, the Marvel comics would show you know, would have some degree of violence, I guess. And technically, or I mean, at least in one way, Mega Man isn't violent. I mean, you're just defeating robots. I mean, who cares? They're not, you know, real living beings, and there's no blood. But, you know, a third, fourth grader's idea of, you know, intense violence, you know, for the big kids. So he would try to look cool, you know, being into that kind of stuff. Really, the only criteria is that, you know, blood shows. That's automatically considered, you know, big kids stuff. So maybe, you know, maybe that was one particular reason why he tried to say X-Men was cool, because, you know, it was violent. It was. And what am I still doing here? Let's get out. Hopefully we can also grab that heart container at the beginning too, since I actually do have the slide ability. And, you know, I didn't even bother to see what conversation Dr. Light has with Zero, since it's not X he's talking to, but it's like somehow he knows Zero, as far as I remember. He's just like, help him. And I just now realized I'm wasting time by having to go back and grab items, because technically that's going to another stage. So, whoops. I mean, that's also another thing that hinders you then is, I mean, unless you want the game to progress that way, to where you technically get the, you know, quote unquote bad ending. You know, you probably can't even really grab all the items you want to, unless you just really know this game well enough to get a specific order in such a way that, you know, you can pretty much grab items on the first run through the stage that you'll have what is necessary to use it. And I can't double jump and slide through the air at the same time, so I mean, if I could, then I'm pretty sure I could clear this. Let's give it a few more tries here. Maybe if I double jump and then... No, wait, well, that won't work, but maybe if I slide... Maybe if I wait to slide through the air when I'm, like, just barely above the spikes, instead of going almost instantly as soon as I start falling. Well, that's not going to work. I don't know, maybe X has spike-proof armor or something, and you gotta... I know he does in X6, so... Oh well. That was a waste of time. And we can go ahead and... grab the Dr. Light capsule from Duff McWillen stage, since I have the laser thing now. He also had to guide that through like almost a maze of some sort in order to grab another capsule for a Maverick that we haven't gotten to yet in his stage, and it's just ridiculous. Quite frankly, I hate Izzy Glow's weapon. As far as I'm concerned, it's almost worthless. And of course, Alias, you know, talking to X like he hadn't seen the ship before, which technically he hadn't. So what I do is just friggin', you know, shoot as fast as possible in order to get rid of the... It's so much harder to do with X though. And I mean, meanwhile, all these things were shooting out at you. Oh, Maverick Hunter. And I am some sort of fail. Actually, now that I think about it, there is one time when I believe the F laser can actually, the Firefly laser can actually, yep, there we go. It just kind of accumulates on, On the... What's the word I'm looking for here? On the helm of the ship. I guess that's the helm. I guess you would consider that the helm. I don't know. Whoa! So yeah, I guess we'll try that then. Yeah, what kind of weapon is that? The Goo Shaver? It sucks too. Here, I'll let you have a gander at it. That's it. It's like the Ground Hunter from X4. Who cares? I mean, there are times when I suppose it can be useful. I mean, when it's somebody's weakness, but overall, it just looks so stupid. Okay, this will not be easy. Well, there goes the Firefly laser. And for some reason, the beam does not seem to affect X. I guess Zero is a little bit taller, so technically it... And either starting with X4 or X5, they also added in a nice little feature. They actually restore your weapon energy between lives. You don't actually have to game over in order to start out fresh. It's just nice. It actually doesn't make things as, easy as you might think. In fact, it really just is kind of almost necessary, unless you're just really, really good at this game. Okay, settle down. Actually, I don't know if it was even necessary to... Oh, I forgot, you can actually guide the weapon, so why am I even wasting my time? And of course those flying fish kept coming out, and interrupting my shot. So much work just to... So yeah, let's make sure I actually defeat the other parts of the ship before getting to the boss part. Good job, SK. And there goes, well... and your laser even disappears when... That just sucks. Well, maybe I can just manage with single shots here. Maybe not. I'm definitely not going to use my energy tank for an occasion like this. It usually just takes too long to fill them back up. let's... There we go. Now I'll just grab the bottom half when I can. There we go. Maybe the Seed Splasher will work nice here. Then again, maybe not. Oh, Lantis is calling me right now. I guess he's wanting to get on Google Hangouts so we can start Final Fantasy Adventure. Even though it's a Game Boy game and certainly very old, I actually have not played it yet, even though I've played, for the most part, the Final Fantasy Legend games. Okay, let's not screw this up. Just a little bit more. And I fell. I guess I could have just stayed down below and ducked. There we go. You really don't know when the shot's gonna come out, you know? Okay, I'm doing much better this time. Well, die, won't you? And supposedly that thing was level 1, whatever that means. Whew. Sure is taking a long time just to grab one item, huh? Oh man, I'm not fantastic at this game. Of course I've beaten it before and everything, but... And you actually cannot... I don't think you can actually take out these sections of... Well, maybe you can with the Firefly laser. I don't know if I've even tried it before. I just hate how these missiles are just so annoying. I mean... The fact that they just home in, up or down on you. This is not going to be easy to do with X. And especially when they come in from both above and below, it's especially hard to dodge them. Alright, I wonder if I can actually kill these things off permanently. And it seems to be hitting the actual main target occasionally, so... No, they just regenerate. I don't remember what Zero's weapon for that he gets from Izzy Glow is, unfortunately, so I sincerely doubt I could have used him in this stage instead to get the item. Since I know it's definitely not what X has, you know, the guided laser thing. It has so much HP by comparison. To Maverick bosses. And I don't know why my Buster cannon keeps missing. You know what? Let's just do it. Hopefully I won't have wasted it. Yeah, I probably did. Oh, good. A part actually dies off. That makes things much more manageable. What, do I have to be spot on or something? Okay, but that's weird. If I fire down below and manage to defeat the turrets at the same time in the same shot, well then it connects. Okay. Whatever, I'll go with it. We're finally here. That's all that matters. Actually, I guess Goose Shaver might be useful here since they travel. Yep. Okay, so the problem is I absolutely cannot die here. Or, well, I guess I can. I can just go back up and hit those spikes, but if I go forward anymore in the screen, well then I'll be permanently screwed. Because that's where the next checkpoint is. Maybe it was the Goose Shaver? No? Okay. What did you want me to do there, buddy? Too afraid to go too far, though. Okay, Goose Shaver definitely doesn't do it. Huh. Honestly, it's a piece of wood. Couldn't X just shoot through it himself? Well, wow, that was an exercise in futility, and I highly apologize for that. Let's just go ahead and get rid of friggin' Squid Adler and call it a video. Let's see, I did this as excellent. Okay. This is the jet ski stage that's come back from X4, just in a different, kind of setting. And it sucks if you want all the items. I mean, like if you want the special item at the end of this, you have to collect all these energy orbs that, I just grabbed one of them. There's another. There's 3. You have to collect all 8 of them, and then get to the end. And it just, well, there, I missed one already. So there's going to be much death here, because I'm just going to go ahead and get it out of the way. I mean, there's really nothing I can do to help increase my chances and come back later on. And the frame skipped on me, so that's why I missed the 4th one. Thank you, game. There goes another. Well, let's go ahead and see. Never mind. Hey, you just have to do... You really cannot mess up in the least in order to get through this. It's so much harder than X4 stage, even just to get through, even without collecting the energy orbs. If this ends up taking a long time, I'll just... Yeah. Okay, so yeah, what you have to do is just straight up slide through that one, grab that, and that 8th one is so hard to get. You have to slide at just the right angle, just the right time, in order to not get caught up on the wall after, grabbing the orb. I don't know why they couldn't have been, a little bit easier on you and just be like, okay, just grab, 6 out of 8, and that'll be enough to destroy the wall. And I don't know why Zero darted on forward instead of being able to control his jump. Yeah, from here on out, however long this takes, I'll just cut out all the parts where I just keep dying, and because this could take a while. Okay, so far so no, never mind. There we go. Whew. I don't know, I like to think I could have made it on foot. In fact, it would have been safer. And she says proceed with care, but there's actually nothing dangerous on this side. So yeah, another piece of the Falcon armor. I think that's 3 out of 4. And when I figure out how to get that last one from Duff McWhalen stage, we'll have the entire set. And that's plot convenience that Zero can actually just, simply, transfer the program over to X when next time he sees him. And even though this Maverick Hunter's in trouble, for some reason this robot doesn't seem too intent on killing him, just me. So yeah, there's a nice little part of the stage here. You just keep hitting this thingy right here, whatever it is. And if it goes all the way in to make the shutter open, but you only have so many times before it just kind of spring loads back out, and the doors might just end up closing on you and killing you. Well, here's a decent time when the Z-Buster will actually work. For those shield guys, I guess. Again, another segment that's pretty much a lot easier to do with Zero. And I'll just ignore this guy. And now we have 2 locks. God, this Z-Buster sucks so badly. It doesn't even, it won't even kill this guy in one hit, so I still gotta take some damage because it's so slow acting. Okay, so you gotta kind of hit these 2 at generally the same time in order to make both locks open. Well, I mean, they'll both open, it's just to make them open at generally the same time where you can pass through safely. Let's see what we got here. Well, that one kind of went back. And this electricity thing is in my way, kinda. There we go. Oh, kind of gave me an energy boost. Cool. And I think that one gave me an extra life. Not that extra lives really are a big deal in this game. So yeah, here it gets just a little bit more treacherous, but easy enough. Two heavily shielded Mavericks at the same time. Clever. Now I'm just going to go ahead and see what's on up here, but I'm pretty sure I don't have... Yeah. Let's see, what do you get for Sea Flasher? Which is, that's the weapon that Zero gets from Izzy Glow. I guess it's his, yeah, it's his Giga attack, but that's definitely not gonna... I have no idea what's gonna break this, actually, especially since the saber just goes right through instead of... F-Splasher, turn invincible, and fly. Oh, so Zero's ability to slide through the air like that, that came from Duff McWhalen, I guess. And it also kind of creates a barrier that will actually damage enemies. That's kind of nice. So if you run into an enemy as you're sliding on through, well, he pretty much stopped in his tracks, I guess. I guess it's like having spikes on your helmet. Nobody's going to want to headbutt you. Shit, Squid Adler's like, man, why are you being so pushy? So it was like this dude that used to be a hunter, and he resigned because if you're playing as X, when you meet up with him, X is like, yeah, I'm sorry about your partner, Octopardo. Yes, that was actually his name. I guess so. It was like somebody Squid Adler really looked up to or was friends with, as much as robots can be friends and feel love for each other. And, you know, he was like, don't apologize. Just here, take it and go. And then, you know, right as he gives you the item, he turns into a Maverick full on. So X is like, I'll put you out of your misery. Here, Zero and him are just having a you know, obstinate goat argument. And he just has been infected too. Oh, will you now, Zero? I'll laugh if you die. Of course, it'll denote my playing ability, but nevertheless, I'll be laughing at you. I like Squid Adler's fighting style, though. It's pretty cool. And it's one of the better weapons for X. Oh, now he's just following me around. Dang. And he just electrifies the floor, so now you gotta stay up on the walls for a while, and then he starts coming after you. And even worse, then this, you know, actual electrified block appears, so you can't use that as, you know, safe ground while... So yeah, as dumb an aim as he has, I really like the way Squid Adler fights. And he's level 12, again, whatever that means. And Zero's, you know, the saber ability he gets from Grizzly Slash is just so, it's so useful. It can easily, you know, get enemies above and below him when he's in the air. It just covers a pretty good distance. Okay, now he's following me around, so it's making it difficult here. He just immediately electrified the ground again, but we're good. Yeah, I've received a whole lot of damage during that fight, constantly dying during the jet ski sequence. And now it says Weapons Life Plus and Weapons Energy Plus. Again, we do not know what this means. Yeah, so X gets Squid Adler's electricity attack. You know, that's kind of like basically 3 electricity beams coming out, one far above you, one straight ahead, and one below. It covers a lot of ground. That's actually definitely one of X's better weapons in this game. But for Zero, it's even better. He has like an electrified blade uppercut kind of thing going, and it doesn't even cost energy. So it is like, well, feel sorry for Squid Adler. Let's restore peace on Earth for him. For Squid, clinks mugs. Okay, so let's go ahead and see the next scene where we actually, now that we have all the parts, we're gonna fire the Enigma at the space colony. Cygnus has to say blast off 3 times, and we have to show it from 3 different angles. Speaking of that, it just irritates me the way they did like these still images with text underneath. When X4 already had the idea of doing animated cutscenes, I wish they had just done that. I don't know why they chose to discontinue that by the next game. So this is the way they do it for X5 and X6. And Alien's like, we only destroyed 60% of it, so it's still a threat. Well, actually, if you merely changed its orbit... I like everybody's faces right here. Look at the look on Douglas's face. I mean, Zero's and Alias actually, look believable, but what's X doing? What is he saying? No! And Douglas just looks mildly annoyed. And I don't know about you, but it looks like the space colony is still fully intact, and Ayla's like, we destroyed 62% of it. So all is not lost, though. In fact, as far as I know, the Enigma, when you complete it, is never actually able to destroy it. You always have to go with this next part of the story that gives us a reason to fight the next 4 Mavericks. So Cygnus now has the idea of getting the space shuttle operational and driving it straight into the colony. And one thing we need is the autopilot function. Except I don't think we can actually get it, so that's, that like sets the stage for the final battle. Zero or X goes into the shuttle or whatever, and they drive it straight on in because it's not able to do autopilot. I kind of like Matrix. I noticed they kind of made him look like a dinosaur, and he's like, our flame elemental maverick, for the game. So I guess in a way he's a lot like Magma Dragoon, except I kind of like the name Matrix. He's not quite as cool, but whatever. He's definitely one of the cooler bosses here in terms of names. Dark Dizzy, seriously, it's actually just some bat. He looks retarded. Okay, so we have 9 hours to goof off until collision. And the thing is, I would like to cut the LP right here, except I can't save right now without dying. So yeah, in fact, that's what I'll do. Instead of progressing any, I'll just go to a random stage and just die purposefully, and then I'll save. So this is just a good point to end the episode. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you next time for when we take on the next of the 4 Mavericks. Next of the 8, excuse me. Next 4 of the 8. See ya.